Tipster! Oh man, what hasn't been said about him that hasn't been said? For a man who's been on the internet longer than I have, you expect him not to fail again and again and again. But somehow he manages to be the butt of the joke. And before, he used to blame the commentary community. But now it seems like history has repeated itself to where the people he switched over to are treating him like a joke. And already he's trying to find a way to blame someone but himself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, grab a beer, grab your loved one, unlike Tipster does, and let's just jump right into this. Let's start with the situation that ended Tipster's relationship with alcohol. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I meant commentary. His relationship with commentary. You see, one of Tipster's friends, Rum and Dump, was caught out for liking a lolly art post on Twitter. Now, she claims it was an accident since she's a non-safe for work artist, so a lot of art tends to come up on her timeline. But here's what's confusing about this. You see, Tipster claims that Rum went to him first, and she was all freaked out, and that's when he stepped in.
Now, at the time, I wasn't aware this was happening. I literally had no idea this was going on at all. But when she reached out to me to discuss this, I became aware of it. And needless to say, I know my friend. I know they aren't into that kind of shit. I know they aren't a bad person. So of course, I had something to say about the matter. And on Twitter, I said the following. I see the usual suspects are trying to call someone out for, quote, liking lolly, unquote, when they don't know what the fuck lolly actually is. Some things never change. Now, the reason I said this was twofold. First, the obvious. A friend of mine was in the crossfire, and I did what any good friend would do. I defended them.
Now, Rum, however, claims that she didn't know what was going on, and Matt Pitt was the first person she talked to, and later told Tipster that it was a nothing burger. Then when she called into not recording, she acted confused as to why Tipster was defending her hard.
No, okay, so, here's the thing. If you hadn't have said anything, it would have just gone, unaddressed for probably most of the day. Because, I don't pay attention to Twitter as soon as I get up in the morning. I'm like, ah, fuck, I gotta go, do stuff. So I was in the middle of cleaning and you hit me up and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And you're like, yeah, this is kind of important. I really need to talk to you about this. And I'm like, okay, give me a second. I'll hop online. So you drag me in and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you're like, yeah, Twitter, have you seen it? Real hot take. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
So, yeah, big appreciation for that one, dog. But
well,
also...
I mean, don't gaslight me into making it my fault, okay? I didn't fucking like it, lady. Did you talk to Tipster before you started tweeting about it?
No, actually, I didn't say anything to Tipster. I retweeted it, and then I ended up in a call with Tipster, just being like, "Hey, man, it's kind of ridiculous. It's a nothing burger." But that was about it. And then I started losing a bunch of I started losing a couple of follows of people being like, I knew this. I'm like, damn, you caught me. What I see is that Tipster came to my defense. I never asked him to. He just kind of did, and I appreciate him for that. But then it turned into this entire people really trying to get Tipster into on these calls or whatever. And it was just, I don't
know. I just found it weird how there's already an inconsistency there, but you choose who to believe. But anyways, Tipster's defense for Rum was not the best. I see the usual suspects are trying to call someone out for liking lolly when they don't know what the fuck lolly actually is. Some things never change. It's lolly, Tipster. It's a cartoon of a child in nothing but a strip of clothing covering the flat chest and crouch. Had to unfollow Rum because they're liking it, put that disgusting shit on my timeline. Why is it a child? Because it had small tits? Guess grown-ass women never had small tits before. Small tits? The girl has no tits, Tipster. It's clearly a child. You think it's lolly, but you are comfortable tweeting it? Lol. To show you that it's a kid, because clearly you're giving Rum too much benefit of the doubt and need to see what she likes. This is pedo shit. I've seen it already, and I don't think it's lolly. I've seen video game characters that look like this, and no one bats an eye. This is literally just commentary towards making something out of nothing again. I disagree! Also, I've never seen a video game character dressed like that while looking that young. You have an example? My point is that this community is full of spurgs who know nothing about anime or anime culture commenting on anime culture, and it's fucking dumb, dude. Bro, these are legit lolicon defense arguments. Oh, but it gets better. You see, he goes on talk on the radio and makes a complete jackass of himself.
So, Tipster, I'd like to explain your thought process of some of your tweets you've made. about
So my thought process is that, like, I feel like a lot of the people who are chiming in on this situation don't know shit about anime, and so they're chiming in from a place of like ignorance, right? If you were to actually look at the profile of the person that posted that particular image, they have done stylized art of characters that are clearly adults in nature in similar art styles. It's clearly
what do you mean by
stylized art.
what do you mean by stylized?
Meaning all the characters are done in the same art style.
So looking like kids?
No, I mean, to you it looks like kids, but like just because you think something is a kid doesn't mean it's a kid. I mean, by that logic, you can make the same argument that 24-year-old reality star who everybody says looks like a kid is a kid.
Okay, well, we're talking about a drawing. I want to make that clear. But
right, exactly.
Also,
yeah.
So like what? Yeah.
I also want to make it clear that this person has posted arts of actual adults in the same art style, and they're completely different.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah, so they've shown ones that they show how to draw adults, and then they show these, and they're completely different, more looking like younger, like a child of it. It's more of a lolly to people. If you see both art and
I mean, and here's the funny thing is, like, if you want to make the argument that you don't like this art or you think it's a little bit creepy, like, that's a fair argument to make. I don't even like this art myself. Like, I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but like, I don't think somebody should be labeled like a fucking pedophile for liking this art.
I don't think
that's
I'm
my
labeling
issue.
anybody. I'm just saying it's weird for you to
And to be clear, I'm not saying that that's what you're labeling people. That there are people who are making that argument.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Those people are retarded.
Right? But like Tipster, I just don't really see how you're saying it's not lolly when.
I'm looking at an artist. I'm looking at an artist who's doing similar characters and similar art style that are very clearly adult characters, and so I'm saying, okay, this is their art style. So that doesn't like automatically indicate that this is a child. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, if the artist came forward,
like, if it looks
if
like
the
a kid,
artist
then,
came
like,
forward and said that yes, this is meant to be a child, then I will concede my point. But my point is, we're looking at a picture and we're deducing things from a picture that can't be deduced from a picture alone. That's what I'm saying. There's not enough information to come to the conclusion that that's a child. That's all I'm saying.
Not enough information. It looked like. What do you mean? Is not your first reaction looking at that like that looks like a kid? What do you mean? Like,
no.
What?
No.
What? That's not your first reaction?
However, the most important moment throughout this whole debacle is when Keem covered it on the Keemstar show with Pat God. Now, when Keem's talking about this situation, Keem says that Tipster should be called out like Flamenco was called out. However, he never says the two are the same or even compares them. But keep this in mind, as this statement causes Tipster to call in.
And that's going to lead him to block me? That makes no fucking sense, and that's weird as
I just feel like if you're going to go after Flamenco, you got to go after Tipster. You literally have to go after Tipster.
Yo.
Tipster. Why do you support Rum is her name, right? Liking that post? Like, how is that not lolly, whatever?
Well, first of all, what I want to get into is you guys are saying that I'm defending lolly, and I would never defend lolly, okay? I don't advocate for lolly.
But you're defending the girl
who liked it.
Lolly, for liking lolly. So indirectly, you're defending it, right?
But my interpretation is that it's not lolly, okay? Like, if you think it's lolly or you think it's, like, weird, then okay, you're welcome to that opinion. I don't think it is. Okay, I would never defend actual lolly.
Okay, so Tipster, how would you define lolly in your own personal opinion?
Sexualized depictions of children, but the thing is, we don't know if this like particular character is a child. Okay, that's my only argument here.
So let me ask you a question: if I were to draw a picture of a child, right, and then you were to look at me and said, "Well, that's a picture of a child you just drew," but I were to say, "No, it's not a child. It's actually a 40-year-old woman," right? Where's the connect there? Like, at the end of the day, does it look like a child? Does it resemble a child? Right? If it looks like a child and it's being sexualized, that is sexualizing a child. Right? In the form of an image. Like, I don't see how there's some sort of disconnect there.
I think it just comes down to like a agree to disagree, because like I don't think we have enough information about that character to determine whether or not it's a child.
Kim, could you?
The funny thing is, you guys are acting like I like this image. I don't particularly find this image interesting at all. I don't like that particular art piece at all. So like this notion that I'm like some lolly defender or I'm in favor of the existence of lolly is fucking ridiculous.
Okay, so you say that you don't like the image, right? So I want to ask you, does looking at that image in any way make you feel uncomfortable?
Do I think it's like a really creepy, weird-looking piece? Sure, but I don't think it's lolly.
But you're saying that you think
I genuinely think this is the commentary community just doing what they always do and trying to make a big deal out of something that's nothing.
Well, hold up though, Tipster, because you're saying that you think that the picture is creepy and unsettling. You're saying that. You're agreeing that. So if it wasn't,
yeah, because it's not art that I find particularly interesting.
Okay, but why
this particular piece is not something that I find interesting.
You could say it's bad art or it's not a well-drawn piece. But what makes you say that it's creepy and it's unsettling? Right? You're saying the words creepy and unsettling. So what is leading you to come to that conclusion?
Because again, it's not a piece that I'm fond of. I don't like this particular art piece.
So are you not fond of it because of the way it's drawn? Like what makes you?
Yeah,
not fond of it?
I'm just not a fan of that particular art piece. I don't understand how hard that is to understand.
Well, no, it's
Wait,
really
Tipster,
hard to understand.
wait,
because if I
Tipster.
look at someone, right?
Tipster, are you saying that this picture is creepy?
Yeah, I think it's a little weird, sure. But again, like if we come down to the question of like, is this lolly? Like, I don't think so. I think it's weird.
But
sure,
why?
I don't
Wait,
think
wait,
it's
wait,
lolly.
wait, wait, wait. You're saying it's weird.
because
But why is it weird?
I feel like we're just going in circles.
As you can see, Tipster finds it creepy but refuses to elaborate or even concede it's a child. But this moment right here is where he burns the bridge with the commentary community.
Okay.
I feel the way I feel about it, and it is what it is.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just really pissed that people are trying to turn this into Tipster likes lolly and Tipster defends lolly. No, I fucking don't.
Okay, well, Tipster, let me try to.
I think it's really fucked up that I really think it's fucked up that you would put it that way, Keem. Comparing me to fucking flamenco. Like, what kind of shit is that, bro?
Well, let me
Tipster,
try to
Tipster.
help.
No,
Wait,
Keem,
let me try to help
Keem,
you.
Literally, fuck you for that. No, genuinely, fuck you for that, Keem. And I disagree with them now. This is about people liking stylized anime art, and people are trying to turn it into pedophilia. And I think it's like fucking gross how people are always on a fucking pedo hunt to try and label people as pedophiles. And it's like, what? Because they like anime and anime art? This is fucking retarded. And I'm sorry, I just agree with you guys. And fuck you for trying to turn this into Tipster likes lolly and Tipster.
What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to think when you're saying that you're gonna fucking die on this hill, Tips? Now he left. He fucking left.
Now, after this, he shows up on Xylee Gets Real stream, where not only is he chewed out by Xylee for being thick-headed, but finally it's actually revealed whether the drawing is lolly or not.
Diesel, look at this tweet that's connected to that picture in question.
What does it say? It's blurry for me.
Yeah, it's blurry. You gotta.
Yeah, I can't see anything either.
Hold on.
Oh, it's a boy. Someone get flamenco in here right now.
Oh, I've had enough of you guys. Fuck it,
This is so fucking stupid. Everybody has been on me about this stupid shit. I'm like, oh my god.
Everyone fucking leave. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of everyone.
That's right, it was a boy, which makes it Shota. Still lolly, just for boys. Oh, I just want to say that Paige Krusty is such an idiot. She kept trying to argue it was chibi art and not lolly. I swear she's a fucking airhead. Now, end of story, right? Well, not exactly. You see, Tipster makes a video addressing it and explains why he went so defensive. But what's interesting, however, is what he says towards the end of the video.
This community has become so much about demonizing people that they don't take the time to get to the heart of the matter and find out what's really going on. And I really don't want to be a part of that anymore. I like creating content surrounding trending topics on social media, and I will continue to do that. But as far as me being a part of this community, nah. Hard pass.
Yes, he burnt the bridge because of this situation that he involved himself in. Fast forward to summer of that year, Tipster is now associating with Keffels, who is notorious for being a terrible person and just a bad faith actor all around, especially against the commentary community. Now, supposedly Tipster around this time said on a live stream that the reason why he left the community was that it had made him depressed and had a negative effect on his mental health due to all the toxicity. Now, the stream is either private or deleted, as to my surprise, no clip could be found, but we know this did happen as this had gotten the attention of Augie RFC, where Augie confronted Tipster not only on this statement, but also his friendship with Keffels as well. And in this confrontation, Tipster does admit that something like this did happen.
But I was told that the other night you did a stream where you talked about how like the old community like made you like consider like suicide or something like that. And this could be all bullshit. I don't know if this happened, but
it's not exactly what I said. That's not exactly what I said.
Happened?
So I did kind of have like a bit of a moment. And like I did talk about how like I felt like the community was like an unhealthy place for me to be, right? And so like I made the decision to like leave because it was a genuinely unhealthy place for me to be. You know, it's one of those things where like, you know, we always talk about how like Jalen runs into a lot of the problems she has because like she's probably like in a place that she doesn't belong because it results in this pattern of her like getting into these really sticky situations. And I kind of found myself in that same thing where it's like, okay, if I'm having like mental health issues related to my association with this community, maybe it's time for me to leave.
Now, throughout this whole entire confrontation, Tipster dances around the question on why he left the community and who caused him to leave, with him refusing to give an exact reason or any name drops. Now, fast forward to June of 2023, Augie did a stream covering a drama involving Keffels, Boblex, and Tipster, with Keffels calling in and later adding Tipster for backup.
Can I ask you a question about something? Why is it that when I left the commentary community back in February, you guys didn't give a fuck, but all of a sudden you found out I'm friends with Keffels, now it's a problem?
Because you started tagging me saying that my community is the reason that you left and they made you want to fucking kill yourself. That's fucking crazy.
I mean, your community's fucking cancerous. Like, why would I want anything to do with your fucking dog shit
I actually
community?
have a question for you. So why wouldn't you, when I was asking for examples of what my community has done to you, why would you bring up the example that, quote unquote, when you went on Dead on Dave stream, my community was like digging up your wife's Instagram? Why didn't you make that argument? Even though I made that argument on Dead on Dave stream in like November.
Because I was trying to like leave civilly with you guys. Like I wanted to go my own way, but I didn't want it to
conversation. But you don't want to answer shit.
No. You asked me a question. I'm trying to fucking answer it. I was trying to leave this community civilly. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go my own way, but I don't want any beef with you guys. And you guys couldn't have it that way.
I
you had to turn it into a fucking issue.
What the fuck my community did, and you couldn't answer shit. You had no argument.
Well, your community's been calling me like a fucking pedophile ever since you covered the lolicon
That's
shit.
right.
Your community's been talking about how I cheat on my fucking wife.
Yes, this fat lying weasel left the community because some kid made a tweet calling out one of his mods, and because Keem said that Tipster should be called out like flamenco. None of his friends accused him or even his mod of being a pedophile. Not Nick, Boblax, Augie, Tom. Hell, even when he called on to talk on the radio, no one in the call called him a pedo. And even before then, everyone said anyone calling Rum or Tipster a pedophile is dumb. So this whole narrative that Augie and his community have been calling him a pedophile is complete bullshit, especially since he never showed a specific tweet or moment or anything of that matter as evidence that this happened. Now, funny enough, this won't be the last time Tipster defends Lolly. I literally don't know how anyone missed this, but around January of 2023, Chris Tyson had been a topic of interest as she had come out as trans around that time. Now, one of the things that people found out was that Chris had apparently purchased some art from a degenerate known as Shadman, who is notorious for drawing disgusting pictures of children, with Keemstar's daughter being one of them. Also, this tweet didn't help Chris's case at all. But you want to know who defended Chris? That's right. Good old Tipster. He made a TikTok defending Chris, saying it's dumb to call someone a pedophile over an edgy joke, and how it's just really transphobia. Now, keep in mind he's only referring, or at least I think he is, to this tweet, as he doesn't really mention a drawing or even the artist for that matter.
Alright guys, so as you know, there's been a lot of people on the internet making a big deal about the fact that Chris Tyson from the Mr. Beast crew came out as gender non-conforming recently, and they're trying to like make a lot of outrage and drama surrounding somebody basically just trying to live their life. But it's gotten to the point where people started digging into like old tweets of theirs and stuff like that to find some reason to cancel them. And the latest thing is that apparently Chris Tyson is a pedophile because he made some edgy jokes about Lolly and kids. Now, I gotta be honest, they're not the kind of jokes that I personally would make, but we've literally gotten to the point where making edgy jokes makes you a pedophile. I kid you not, that's how low the bar for pedophilia has become. At this point, give it like a month or two, and you'll be considered a pedophile just for breathing the same air as children.
Well, that is until he said this in a future live stream covering an EDP video. That's right, EDP of all people started accusing Chris of pedophilia. Just roll the clip.
I don't know if I've heard anything about Shadman and Chris being friends. I know there was a controversy involving the fact that Chris allegedly owned, like there was a picture he posted on Twitter of him owning like a piece of artwork by Shadman. And I've seen the artwork in question. I'm not going to show it on stream for obvious reasons. But the artwork looked like it depicted someone who was of adult age. It looked like somebody who was very petite, kind of like a Belle Delphine type figure. It might have even been a drawing of Belle Delphine. I'm not really sure. But it was something to that degree, right? And so, I mean, my issue with that was Shadman's a very controversial figure, okay? Very controversial. They have drawn some really fucked up shit in the past, okay? And so I will say this. I wouldn't be supporting Shadman. I don't know if he purchased that artwork or just printed it out or something like that, but I wouldn't be signal boosting or supporting Shadman's work because of his history. But either way, like I've seen the artwork, and I don't personally think the artwork is anything questionable. It's just the connection to the artist in question. It's like, yeah, I would not be supporting that guy. Just being honest. Just being completely honest, I would not be supporting Shadman. But I don't think they're friends. But they were jokes. Like, there were people that were trying to make it out like, oh, Chris is a pedophile because he made these jokes, right? And I really think that, like, on the internet nowadays, we've really lowered the bar for what the requirement is to qualify as a pedophile, right? Like, we've really lowered the bar of what actually makes someone a pedophile. I don't think Chris is a pedophile for the things we're about to see here in a little bit. I think the jokes were tasteless. I think his support of Shadman, not great, but I don't think he's a pedophile. I think more of the people who were trying to use that to position Chris as a pedophile were more playing into the whole trans people are groomers and trans people are pedophiles narrative, you know, that sort of thing, which is not okay, in my opinion.
That's right! The art isn't questionable, but the artist is! And in that clip, Tipster acknowledges the beef that Chadman had with Keemstar and his daughter. If the guy draws children, that picture is definitely a child. But you wanna know what's funny though? Is in Keffel's recent video about H3H3, she brings up this exact situation and calls out Ethan for not criticizing Chris for owning the art. Meaning, she's also disavowing Tipster as well, since he defended Chris last year. Oh, but Tipster had to make it about transphobia, when it wasn't the fucking case! The only person who was trying to insinuate that Chris was a lolicon or a pedophile was EDP. However, nothing compares to the embarrassment of this next situation. This leads us to today. You see, recently a left-leaning political streamer named Vosh was caught in 4K having lolly and bestiality arts in his computer.
This is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Now, of course, this got massive attention as it created an entire domino effect where he was exposed to be a complete degenerate loser. From DMs with a woman who refused to be in a relationship with him, to wanting to be fucked by a horse, to him making horrible arguments about lolly and children working and lowering the age of consent. Seriously, who the fuck watches this guy? I could go all day, but you get the point. Now you see, H3H3 called him out and made fun of him on stream, which is rightfully deserved. But like a bad signal, Tipster and Keffels were the first ones to defend Vosh, causing this amazing interaction to happen. Genuinely disappointed seeing what H3H3 did to Vosh earlier tonight. You'd think after everything Hassan's community, as well as others in the past, have done to misrepresent Ethan, he wouldn't be so quick to do the same to others. Yet here we are. He even used the same out-of-context clip alt-writers have used to defame Vosh time and time again. Whatever this was intended to be, there is one thing for sure, this was not the move, and this was extremely bad faith misrepresentation of Vosh. Cheers, my horse. Love ya. No pedo. I see Ethan was a big fan of my criticism. LOL. I'm disappointed in H3H3. You had me on your show and called me a hero for fighting against a far-right stalking forum that made multiple people kill themselves. Now you are using out-of-context clips sourced from the same website to attack people. Do better, Ethan. Who the fuck are these people writing? Pun intended. For pornographic drawings of a horse-fucking child. Am I losing my mind? Yes, H3H3, you are losing your mind. You are being extremely bad faith, and now everyone is calling you out for it. After all the genuine good takes you've had over the past year, we've expected better from you. Hey, H3H3 Productions. You didn't address anything I said. I'm not pro-lolicon, and if I thought Vosh was, I wouldn't defended him. Can you please have a discussion about this instead of putting me on blast to your 2 million followers and pedo-jacketing me? This is gross. Ethan, I know you're going to see this even if you won't respond. I defended you while you were having a meltdown over the stuff with Hassan. People gave me shit for it. All I am asking for you is to show some charitability to those who showed it to you. I am not your enemy. You said I took clips out of context. The entire conversation revolved around showing the full context of everything so that people couldn't say I took anything out of context, and yet you still said it. Remember that you chose to die on the lolly hill. I also offered Vosh to come onto the show to explain to me and my audience how what I said was out of context or dishonest. He declined. Also, what the fuck is pedo-jacking? Why do you guys have such weird-ass expressions for everything? And how often are you being accused of being a pedo that you need a nickname for it? If the jacket fits, you must not acquit. Is this pedo-jacketing? Not a real photo, obviously. After all the good takes, you have to do this. Condemn lolly porn. We must draw the line somewhere. That's right. Ethan Klein calls Tipster and Keffels a pedophile. The same guy who invited Tipster onto a show to make an appearance. And the only reason Tipster started to support him was out of spite of the commentary community. Now, of course, this man-child fires up a livestream accusing Ethan of being a bad faith actor and not looking at the context behind Vosh's statements. Shocker, the context is worse. Not to mention, Tipster doesn't know what's in Vosh's folder, but yet refuses to accept that all of it is lolly and only 2 of the images is Lolly and it's somehow accidental? Oh my god, how did anyone stand this idiot? Also, throughout this whole live stream, Keemstar is coming into his chat and just messing with the guy.
How dare Keemstar show his fucking face in my chat? Don't you ever show your face in my fucking chat again. You're not welcome here. Hey, Keem, thank you for showing up on the Happy Punch account. I have evidence that will put Tipster in jail this stream. Literally go fuck yourself, Keem. You are a disgusting human being, and I regret that I ever associated with you or ever defended you. You are a piece of trash. Go fuck yourself.
Here, I'll ask you just follow through.
No, I don't. You're no better than Ethan is right here. I told you, Keem, you're not welcome in my chat. This is my chat is my fucking house, and you're not welcome here, you bald gnome bastard. Get the fuck out.
So, do we not possess other things?
I also find it interesting that he has no issue calling Flamenco a pedophile, but not Vosh.
You and Flamenco should go bowling. Flamenco is a fucking pedo. Don't leave those kids alone.
Now, of course, Tipster's little temper tantrum caused Ethan Klein to make another live stream calling out, this time, Tipster, Keffels, and Bosch, saying it's slimy for Keffels to bring in trans in a situation that doesn't involve that. And Tipster is a loser for saying that Ethan was doing good until he had this bad take. And Vosh for claiming that Ethan shouldn't attack him when Vosh had defended Ethan in the past. Yeah, great logic there, by the way. Now, while Ethan was live, so were Keffels and Tipster, and they were watching it live, and they just spewed out the same talking points I mentioned before, you know, taking Vosh out of context when the context is, you know, much more worse. But one interesting thing I want to bring up is this clip right here.
Like, if Ethan has DMs with me where he's giving me advice on how to fuck with people, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that these are very common conversations behind the scenes with creators. I wouldn't even be surprised if Hassan ended up like sending Ethan a bunch of Vosh receipts.
Well, this reminds me a lot of some drama that he got involved in many, many years ago when he was still a commentary creator. There was like a feud between two other commentary creators, and he was like sliding into the DMs of one of them to tell the other one, like, don't give him a platform to defend himself, and basically like kind of stirring the pot behind the scenes. This is a very common thing for him.
Well, think about it like this as well. Hassan is a lot more defensive, a lot more bitter than he used to be. This time last year, he was in the top 10 Twitch streamers. As of last week, he's number 13. He's no longer a top 10 streamer. Like, he's falling off. Meanwhile, Vosh, his platform is continuously growing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hassan ended up coordinating something. Like, it's a win-win situation. Ethan gets the boost from the lost audience that he got, and Hassan gets to deal with his political competition.
Mm-hmm. It just was very like I understand like Hassan will sometimes talk about stuff that's going on in the space on his stream, but it's just really odd how quickly it happened where like Ethan talks about this stuff and he's spamming his Insta story with, you know, our responses and everything, and then like instantly there's Hassan to comment on it on his stream.
Yeah, it was the timing, especially when Hassan had said previously he would not talk about me on his stream, and then he did it again.
Because you got to remember, like, I came from a community where people are very coordinated like that. They'll, like, do these, like, I'm going to put out this video, and you guys can react to it, and other people can, like, here's, you know, some stuff that you can use in your videos, etc. And they all work together to try and, like, come at someone together. So I've seen these kind of things happen before, and it would not surprise me. And again, to be clear, just speculation on my part, it would not surprise me if they were working together on this shit.
That's right! Tipster and Keffels think that somehow the commentary community, Hassan and Ethan, are working together for the benefit of Ethan Klein just to get those fans back? Oh my god, they make it so easy! I swear, how do these guys have an audience? Who even watches them and believes the shit that they say? Literally, while I was writing the script, Tipster had put out this pathetic response, trying to backpedal, while also trying to side with Keffels and Vosh. Now, I'm just gonna speed through this, because quite frankly, I had enough of this idiot, and I just want to wrap this up already.
I am not okay with Lolly. I don't defend the existence of Lolly, the consumption of Lolly, the production of Lolly, etc.
Yes, we know you don't support CP, but you keep involving yourself in situations that involve Lolly and ask questions like, how is this Lolly? When it's clearly a child. That's why people call you a pedo or a lolicon defender.
Now, I know a lot of people are like instantly condemning him because like, oh, he had, you know, supposedly Lolly on his computer and therefore like he needs to be like canceled and like, you know, he's a pedophile now or whatever. And I tend to be a little bit more charitable in the sense that I feel like a lot of people on the internet instantly want to assume malice where ignorance could be a simple answer.
How can you have accidental lolly in your computer and not call Vosh a pedo, but you did to people like Food Shops and Flamenco with no hesitation whatsoever?
Shaman or whatever the fuck his name is, alright? So it's personal. This is personal. I hate this shit. It's fucking disgusting, alright? Guess what Tipster did? Tipster defended Chris from Mr. Beast and that post. And that fucking post.
It's not exactly what happened.
You absolutely defended both of them. You try to argue that what Chris did was an edgy joke and that the art piece itself isn't a child, when you clearly know Shadman's history.
The tweet in question says pedos aren't attracted to people who look young. They're attracted to people who are young. By that logic, anyone who is attracted to Kiwi Sunset or Belle Delphine is a pedo, shaking my head.
This tweet. No, literally, that's it. This tweet is dumb.
So many people, especially in the commentary crowd, have made a situation that's largely about Bosch, and they've made it about me. I honestly feel like so many of them don't actually give a fuck about the Bosch situation, and I think the only reason why they're covering it is because two people they hate, myself and Keffels.
You and Keffels inserted each other in this situation and made it worse for Wash in every single way. Nobody asked you to defend Bosch, and now Ethan, the person you grifted to, is making you the butt of the joke.
The other thing I want to do really quickly before I wrap up this segment is I do want to apologize to some of my friends who I care a lot about. One of those friends being Keffels.
Why are you apologizing? She's just as dumb as you for defending Bosch. If it was the other way, she would have never apologized and just cut ties with you. Kind of like how she's doing right now with Bosch.
This whole situation has honestly ruined anime for me so fucking much that I never want to watch anime again. I don't want anything to do with anime. I'm so sick of anime at this point. I want nothing to fucking do with it. No more anime in my house. I'm sorry, babe. I know you're in the other room. I know you still like Pokemon and shit like that. No more. No mas. It's Jover.
It has nothing to do with anime. Now you're just being a dramatic bitch because you're a stupid idiot that grifts out of spite. And you're a fat old man who is an absolute creep to women. Sorry. Someone had to say it. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video. Be sure to leave a like on this video. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. Oh, and I also want to say shout out to all the people who knew this tweet was a joke. Obviously, I was going to change it for, YouTube's policy. I mean, at least nobody went on a live stream and Pearl clutched an obvious joke. I mean, that'd be so dumb, wouldn't it? Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.